recording.
Oh, okay.
Great.
And that's your joke of the day. Fantastic. All right. So here we are, by the way. We have a lot of roundtable here with small business owners and entrepreneurs and workaholic professionals. And we're going to interview, I guess, if you will, like 10 to 15 different business owners. But we usually have a 1-minute commercial that everybody does. But you'll get your 1-minute commercial by answering a couple of questions. So we're going to start with Bruce. Bruce, tell us, well, of course, we know your name is Bruce, but what's your full name, Bruce? And where are you from? Where are you living now? What city?
Okay.
We don't get too personal because people could look you up and find you, hunt you down, and be a serial killer, but we don't want that. So tell us your name, your full name, if you want to mention your wife, which is sitting over there. So where are you from? Where you are? What city you're at now? And also, you're going to be telling us what is your specialty and what problem do you solve for your clients?
Okay. My full name is Bruce Todd Glassner. My Jewish name is Tevi, if anybody's interested, but that's another story. Oh, okay. I'm originally from New York. I was born in Brooklyn, so don't mess with me. Grew up in Queens and Long Island, and moved here in the end of 2004. And my specialty is as an associate with USANA Health Sciences, where we help people to create an automatic recurring income stream by sharing information on our company's science-based health and nutrition products. And how I help people is I help them to have that additional income stream in their lives, and at the same time to get healthier with high potency, synergistically balanced and bioavailable nutrients.
And what is the problem of your clients or customers? What's their problem?
Well, it's twofold. Some of them will be looking for an additional income stream that they can do on their own time and not interfere with anything else.
So their problem is an additional income stream?
Having not enough income in their lives, and this gives them an opportunity to do that without trying to go out and get a second job or a time-consuming career. And the other problem that people have is nutrient deficiency that they may not even be aware of, but that's something that I can help them with proper manufactured science-based products that you can't get in stores at that level of bioavailability and potency.
Do you have a last thought?
A last thought?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have much in the way of thoughts, but
not permanent. Just the last thought for now.
No, it's just a call to action if anyone is interested in creating an additional income stream, and again, doesn't have to interfere with anything that you're currently doing, or if you are interested in learning why food alone is not sufficient for your diet and needs to be supplemented, then I'd be happy to introduce you to USANA.
Of course, if you want to more information, you could come back on Wednesday and get a hold of Bruce, or you could grab his card, which is on the table right over there. So let's go to our next business owner. Bob, tell us your full name and where you were from originally, where you live now, what is your specialty, and what problem do you solve?
Okay, my name is Bob Persicom. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. By the way, coming from New Jersey, come to South Florida in 1985. I live in Boca Raton. I am a realtor. I assist people in buying, purchasing, or renting properties.
And what is the problem of your customers?
The problem of people today is I don't think they really understand the market. They're reading too much in newspapers and the media about prices dropping, interest rates high, and yada, yada, yada. I try to educate them on a lot of things, i.e. the market, interest rates, because I used to be in the mortgage business for 25 years. And I think that the people of today are holding off buying, and some people are holding off selling. There is some new rules coming out in July for the realtors, which people are trying to figure out, including myself. And there are certain people who have read what's going on, i.e. sellers, and think that has come law, which it has not become law.
By the way, for everybody too, and Bob, the people on that side of the room or this side of the room are paying just as much as those people. So feel free to glance every now and then at those guys over there. But they could hear, hopefully, what you're saying too.
What I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's a good-looking area over here.
Yeah. So any last thoughts you want to say, but not permanent?
I mean, if anybody is in need of any kind of assistance, they want to know what's going on in the market, not even if they want to buy or sell, I'd be happy to sit down and discuss what's going on in the market, what I feel is going to happen in the future in the market. Take my card, reach me anytime.
Thanks, Bob. And now we'll go to our next business owner, workaholic professional, entrepreneur, Sherry White. Different last name, but they're together, Bruce and Sherry. So Sherry, tell us where you're originally from, the city you're at now, your full name, and what your specialty is, and what problem you solve for your clients.
All right, so you already know my name. I was born in the Bronx, New York, grew up in Rockland County, New York. Not upstate, but people who live on Long Island say Rockland County is upstate.
Anything north of the Bronx.
I moved to Florida in 2002, but came here via Blacksburg, Virginia, the home of Virginia Tech. Go Hokies. The problem that that's the second question, the problem that I solve. My specialty is tax. Income tax, payroll tax, tax problems, tax planning. So my specialty is tax. I would say that the main problem that I solve is twofold. Helping clients get the lowest legal tax liability. And so either they'll get a bigger refund or they'll pay less tax. And the bigger problem is when they have a problem with the IRS. And that could come from a lot of different reasons. And sometimes what looks like a problem and would be a problem to Joe and Jane taxpayer is not a real problem that I can't solve. So, and that's the tax resolution part of it. So instead of throwing the envelope in the drawer when the envelope comes from the IRS, email me, text me, call me. The initial consultation is free and I can help you. I talk to the IRS so you don't have to. That's my final thought.
And that's a good final thought. Okay, thank you. How about Iris? So tell us your full name, where you're originally from, where you're living now, what your specialties are, and what are the problems of your clients.
Good morning, everybody. My real whole name is Iris Stewart Rothman. I hail from my mother's womb, but we don't have to go that far back. I am from originally Long Island, New York. I came down here in 2016 to take care of my mother. Unfortunately, she did pass at the age of 98. What else would you like to know? I'm down here in West Boca.
What do you do?
What do I do?
What's your specialties?
My specialty is a twofold. I'm a CPR instructor, and I come to your home office or wherever to do certifications and recertifications for CPR. And I'm also, we go anywhere 24/7. I'm a shuttle service to and from the airports and port terminals. Biggest problems I run into is I get phone calls in the morning that a lot of home health aides are not allowed to go to work for the evening shift because their CPR expired. I tell everybody I'm the Aflac of CPR. You don't get CPR until you have an accident or somebody in your family needs it. 24/7 to the airports. I save lots of lives doing that. I make sure the husbands are at the airport right on time so the wives don't get yelling at them. And I find that to be a lifesaver as well. Biggest problem I have with that, I get calls from people. I'm at the airport and my kid didn't pick me up. Can you come now? And, you know, we do what we can. We work it out.
And you have the last thought?
I haven't been given my thoughts for the day yet, so I'll wait till I get home. It's a great group. I enjoy coming every week.
Okay, we thank you for that. That's awesome. Now, our next guest, you'll state your full name, so I don't disclose it in advance, I suppose. Tell us where you're originally from, where you're living now, what your specialty is, and what is your problems that you solve for your clients. Their problems.
Yeah. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Patrick J. Dunn, originally from the Western Pennsylvania area, Pittsburgh. Lived up there all of my life and moved down here in Florida about 15 years ago. Live in Delray Beach, and I own and operate Advantage Business Solutions. Now, Advantage Business Solutions help businesses on two sides of the coin. Initially, we operate a consulting firm for mid-sized businesses, which look at the operational end of their business. How are they managing their cost? How do they manage their inventory, et cetera, et cetera? What's their customer service look like, et cetera, et cetera? So from that perspective, we help them improve their profitability and also help them become more efficient within their operation. On the other side of our business, we work with businesses to help them identify the specialized tax incentives that have been made available to all companies by the federal, state, and local governments. This year, there's $2.3 trillion out there that's been made available by federal, state, and local governments on specialized tax incentives. Now, the issue is most businesses are unaware of these tax incentives. We've developed this proprietary software solution that will help us sit down with them, take a look at their previous year's tax returns, ask them a few pertinent questions, and in about 15 to 20 minutes, we can come up with all of the specialized tax incentives, which they haven't been given in the past, and show them where they can save some money. Now, the nice thing about specialized tax incentives, if we find one, say, for the 2023 tax year, and they haven't taken those, we go back to 2022, 2021, and if they obviously haven't taken them, we can go back 3 years to 5 years and recoup the monies which they should have taken. So we often run into clients like that. We've also tax incentives and tax credits can offset their tax liability. In other words, if they owe $10,000 this year, we find $7,000 in tax credits. Guess what? They pay Uncle $3,000 that particular year instead of the $10,000.
So the big problem that your clients have is that tax liability.
The cash flow and tax liability. When you again, when we find these tax credits, that increases their cash flow. So now they have $7,000 to use as they wish in their business that they didn't have before. Okay.
Any last thoughts?
Last thoughts. I never met a business owner that didn't want to improve his cash flow and reduce his taxes.
You would think, right?
You would think.
Thank you for that. And let's go to our next guest, which is Lyn Stone. Tell us your full name, which I just did. Where are you originally from and where you live now, and what is your specialty and what are the problems of your customers?
My name is Lyn Stone. I came from Sunnyside, Queens New York, and I came to Florida in 1980, so I'm a long-term resident. And I specialize in helping people be healthy and maintain their health and improve their everyday life because they're healthy. And I do that through Juice Plus, which is a way of getting the nutrition you need on a daily basis. And it is just something that has improved so many lives because they're getting the nutrition that they need. It's all fruits and vegetables. It is food. It is not a multiple vitamin or a supplement. It is food. And it is a great way of improving your health. We are about to come out with a new product, but I cannot introduce you to that yet because we are having a session that will explain everything about the product. But it will be a drink that will help keep you alert and even build your mind that way. And it is all natural fruits and vegetables again. So my saying is always, life is choices. Choose to be healthy. Take Juice Plus.
That sounds like a perfect commercial. Okay, let's go all the way over to, can you yell from there? I'll come a little bit closer to that gentleman sitting in that chair.
Who's sitting where?
I think his name is Arnie.
Why don't you stand up?
But Arnie, stand up. Yeah. Tell us your full name, where you're originally from. I think it's Indiana. You told us several times in many meetings. And tell us where you're living now. What is your specialties?
Good morning, Paul.
And what are your problems of your customers?
You're using the big time. Hey, listen, I've been accused of being from Noah's Ark. I really came from Noah's Ark.
Let me get a good close look at you.
And besides that, yes, Indiana. Anybody know anyone from Indiana other than me?
My son went to Indiana University.
That's where I went to school. Okay, very good. I think I was. I'm trying to remember that far back. So as you know, when I talk about lots of different things because I do a lot of things every day. But today I want to talk about the DAC Foundation. The DAC Foundation was founded by my wife and I in 2016, and it was a way to pay forward because we were so happy that she had rescued her very first pet at age 70. And we wanted to pay it forward, so we founded the DAC Foundation. And we help, by the way, how many have dogs? How many have dogs in here? Wow.
We work too much.
It's almost about 60% when I'm in most of the places. Okay. So anyhow, you have about a 50-50 chance of when you're talking to your client that they have a dog. For sure their kids have. But anyhow, so let's get back to it. Our mission is to help rescues and shelters with their veterinarian bills, which is one of their toughest costs. So we do a lot of fundraising, and we take care of veterinarians, and we pay the veterinarian directly. So we know that the money's going to the health of pets. So anyhow, so that's one of the things I do. I also am involved with Abigail TV, and I own 3 TV channels down here. I sold TV channels all over the country, but I own 3 TV channels that are on Roku, Boca City TV, Palm Beach City TV, and Boynton Beach City TV, and I sold Delray to someone else. So you can now advertise. In other words, one of the reasons you're here, why? To get more business. That's why you network. I've been networking for years. So you want to get more business. You want to get more exposure. You're on social media, now Alignable. I've been on Facebook for 100 years. And why? You're looking for exposure. You're looking for more business. I now can put you on another phase of exposure with those TV channels. Okay? And our viewership is growing every day. 73 million people have access to Roku. 73 million people in the United States. So as a result, you can advertise on my channels for $1 a minute. And of course, I always do specials for my network group. So get me a video. Get me a video. Second business. I do videos. I do marketing videos, and my price is $130. For $130, I can do a customized video for you that you can use on all the social media and everywhere. So I like to call myself a resource. So my people are looking for more exposure, looking for more business, trying to get their name, their business name out like we do every day. So
what is the big problem of your customers?
the big problem
Mm-hmm.
is they don't know me. They have to. You said customers.
The problem of your customers.
I'm talking about prospects.
Okay.
Customers.
What are your customers' problems?
Okay. Customer problems. That everyone's looking for more business. I mean, let's face it. Their real problem in today's world is the cost of living and the cost of everything that's going on. Inflation. The real inflation is what, 40% in the last 3 years? I mean, come on. It's insanity. It's absolute insanity what's going on. So we all need more money. We all need more money. So the real problem is that they need ways to get more money. I give them solutions to marketing. I really do. I've been doing it too many years.
You have any last thoughts?
Yeah, good group. Networking is always important. Networking on a consistent basis is great. We run into a lot of people that we know and like. Okay, I even like Ira.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not
Actually-
an easy task.
Actually, I love Ira. He's great. He's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. So anyhow, I wish everyone well always, and let's look out for one another more if we can. Thank you.
Thanks, Arnie. And next up is this gentleman over here waiting so patiently, looking so dapper, legs crossed. I had the chance to I was like on a 2-on-1, 1-on-1 yesterday, was it? Or 2 days ago?
I
Yeah.
thought it was last night.
Last night? I feel like it was like just recently, but what? And they cornered me on nailing me about all different things about Alignable and how they can make it effective, even if you're a free member. But this is about Marty Sidman. But tell us your full name again, so you agree with it, that that's your name, and also that where you're originally from, where you live now, what your specialty is, which most of us know, and say it again, and I'm sure you'll dazzle us, and also tell us what is the real problem of your clients.
My name is Marty Sidman. I specialize in reverse mortgages for the last 15 years. Moved down here from New York, Long Island, originally from Brooklyn, New York, and specialized in reverse mortgages to get a niche in the community. I was in the shopping center field for 40 years and decided when I came down here to go into a different career and picked on reverse mortgages as an entity to go into. In today's world, very few people understand the FHA program that was created 40 years ago by Reagan. He understood, based upon Social Security and a small pension, that the seniors needed a better quality of life. He created a program, and over the last 40 years, it has improved a great deal. What is a reverse mortgage? It's an idea of the senior able to use the equity in their home to pay for expenses, to pay for retirement. That's not my phone.
Sorry.
That's
Always
okay.
one in the crowd.
I need to clear my throat anyway. The reverse mortgage for the seniors is for the age of 62, based upon the appraised value of the property. They can use the tax-free money to do whatever they want with it. They can use it to purchase property with a reverse mortgage. If they're in foreclosure, I could take them out of foreclosure and put it into the reverse mortgage program. They can use it again for long-term care. They have a program where people in today's world have a HELOC, home equity line of credit. With a reverse mortgage, you have a home line of credit that grows in today's world at 8% tax-free. Very few people understand this. Out of 370 million people we have in the country, there's only 1 million that have reverse mortgages. When we had the downfall in 2008, there was not one foreclosure with a reverse mortgage. The key is there are no monthly principal and interest payments for the rest of their life. So someone who has a reverse mortgage can stay there in their home and never have a mortgage payment. Again, a good referral for me is the senior that is looking to stay in their home for the rest of their life, to be able to handle their immediate expenses, maybe to do reconstruction on their home, that they were able to do, give gifts away to their grandchildren, if they're in college or what have you. They can use the equity in their home. At the same time, they do not have any monthly mortgage payments. That's the whole idea of the reverse mortgage. Basically, in the last 4 or 5 years, what came into the field now is the affluent community. We have a proprietary jumbo reverse mortgage for those people who have properties over $2 million to $20 million. I did recently a loan in Palm Island. The gentleman had a $10 million house, had no mortgage, took out 3.9 and bought a home in Vermont, Switzerland, feeling that at the same time, when he sells the home in Vermont, he'll pay off the mortgage. At the same time, in that category also, there was another person that needed money in the business end, was not making enough money to go and borrow $2 million on a $4 million house that they had. They were able to get a reverse mortgage and use it as a business entity. Took out $2 million and does not have a mortgage payment. So that is the key, no monthly mortgage payments.
So clearly your specialty is reverse mortgages.
Only.
And what is the big problem of, from the wealthy to the very poor and everywhere in between, what is their problems that you're solving?
Lack of education. The general public does not know about the reverse mortgage. They hear about it. There's a bias, a misinformed bias regarding the reverse mortgage.
So they don't know about awareness, but what is their big problem? They might not be able to make a mortgage payment because their HOA fee went up. What other problems do your customers have?
Well, what's happening today with the HOA fee is going up, but it's also designed so that they can use it for HOA, for reconstruction of their home, taking consideration for retirement, for home care. The whole idea is the general public really does not know that this is available for them. It's interesting. I did a loan at the Polo Club off a jog about 2 years ago. A home was worth about $800,000. The people that were living in the home were 75 years old. They were living off of their savings account, basically because they lost their money with Madoff in 2008. So what happened, and not directly with Madoff, but through the various channels, broker channels. And what happened is that they were actually living off of their savings account. And they needed $3,000 a month for the rest of their life to live, give or take with inflation going up or what have you. They had enough equity in their home to be able to draw down $3,000 a month for the rest of their life. What happened there at that time, they said, wait, Marty, you have to speak to my children. That's always a factor because needless to say, with the interest rate that they're paying on, that they're not paying on their mortgage will keep on increasing. But at the same time, they said, speak to my children. The following week, I sat down with them in the house, and as soon as I came through the door, they were throwing darts at me. So when we sat down and talked, I showed them that they needed a certain amount of money on a monthly basis. And you could see that Bob, one of the children, Betty was another child, they were turning red, that they needed $3,000 a month. I asked each one of them, could you give your parents $1,500 for the rest of your parents' life? They turned green. They excused themselves, went into another room, came out of them and said, what can we do? Now, after about a half hour of taking the information I needed to present and do an application for this, I find out both of them live across the street at the Woodfield Country Club. Bob is an attorney, Betty is a psychologist. They got children in college. They got kids in camp. They couldn't guarantee their parents $1,500 each a month for the rest of their parents' life. So this is what happens when you come into using the reverse mortgage program. It works for a lot of different reasons. As I say, my job really is to educate the general public on this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, our guest here today, you have Kim, and Kim's sitting right next to her. So, Pam, welcome to our meeting. Put you on the spot. Tell us your full name, where you're originally from, where you're living now, what your specialty is, and what are the real deep problems of your customers?
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here. My name is Pam Press. I'm originally from New York, Long Island. I lived in West End for over 20 years, and now I'm in Delray Beach. I just started working for Comfort Keepers in Delray Beach. It's a home care service. We believe in elevating the human spirit, bringing joy back into seniors' lives. The client care coordinator, and I'm also the sales and marketing rep for them. And that's it.
Well, congrats on your new position. Congrats on entering into home care. That field is huge,
Yes.
to say the least. Right? I know that Kim would probably be a great referral source for you since she deals with the elderly left and right, I suppose. We all do, right? We can't not trip over our parents and grandparents and friends. Any last thoughts? Okay, thanks.
What did you do before this?
I was in the hospitality industry. I went to Bailey Dickinson University in New Jersey, and I was the director of sales for Holiday Inn in Boca.
I had a cousin that went to Fairleigh Dickinson, New Jersey, a while ago.
Small world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Kim, tell us your full name and where you're originally from, where you're living now, what your specialty is or specialties, whether it's in your business or out of your business. Maybe you run marathons and someone wants to learn how to do that or used to do that. And what are your problems of your customers?
My name is Kim Noel Graycard, born 3 days before Christmas, hence the Noel. I'm originally from Long Island, but I moved down here when I was 13, 1975. So I've been here most of my life and consider myself a Floridian. I love the heat, and I'm looking forward to the summer, unlike most people. I provide captioned telephones on behalf of CapTel, Captioned Telephone. We are available nationwide to anyone that has a hearing loss. There's no cost whatsoever to the end user to have one of our phones, the service, and everything that we provide. The cost is taken care of by taxes and the phone bill by all of us nationwide. We provide amplification, and we also have word-for-word captioning so the person can read what's being said if they can't understand it. We have answering machines that caption the messages, and they can go back and see the conversations again. We also caption in Spanish, which is very helpful for a lot of our people, especially in South Florida. And we focus on vision loss because a lot of our folks have vision loss as well as hearing loss. My biggest problem is
Your customer's problems, or your problem
customer's
too.
problem and my problem is making people understand that, number one, a lot of them do have a hard time hearing. It's not something to be ashamed about. It's something to really deal with as soon as possible. Untreated hearing loss can lead to cognitive decline. We're not using our brain fully and accurately. So it's very important if you have a hearing loss to get diagnosed early. Get hearing aids if you need them and wear them regularly so that your brain starts to recognize what the words do sound like. Captioned telephone is one of the greatest things that people can use. Some people decide to do that first before they get hearing aids, and it does help them to understand that, yes, I'm not really understanding my conversation so well, and this is proving that. And my biggest problem in getting to them is making them understand again that they do need it. There really is no cost for it, and we provide a great service. And my final thoughts are this is a great networking group. It's very interactive. I've gotten referrals. I give referrals. We really do care about and stay in touch with each other. I run into Ira all the time. And it's really good to be a part of a group that is not just about fluff and breakfast. I highly recommend this group.
You guys got to be careful when you run into each other, though.
You never know what can happen.
Any last thoughts?
Again, as I said, this is a great group, and anybody that has not come to experience it should come check it out.
Thank you, Kim. And let's go to our second to last. Ted, tell us your full name, where you're originally from, where you're living now, what your specialties are or specialty, and what is your customers' problems or problem.
So my legal name is Teddy Suss, 9 characters long, just like a social security number. And I was born in
New York.
However, my parents moved me as an infant to Rochester, New York. Lived there until 2001. Then for 10 years lived in suburban Chicago and came down here in 2011. I live in Lake Worth. So I'm here year round. I am currently a notary public. I'm a mobile notary. I'm also an online notary. So my prospects or customers' problems are typically convenience. So if someone needs something notarized for first thing Monday and it's Sunday afternoon, so they call me. They are in a hospital room. They are in a senior care facility like here. They can't travel. Mobility is an issue. So then I come in. Or they work a lot. They can't take time off during the day. I do not compete with the bank because the bank does this for free. So they are not really my competition. It's for people who need me when they need me or they can't get somewhere else. That's what I do. This group has been great. I think we all enjoy meeting together, and I do what I can to help the others. So I've had some do presentations in our community to kind of spread their word. And thank you, Paul and Sarah, for doing this.
Thank you. Any last thoughts, or that was your last thought?
That was my last thought. Thank you.
I was wondering how I was going to do the last person myself, if I should be here behind the camera or in front of the camera. And since the closest person to photography is Ted, I'll leave this rolling and you just flip it around and face me. You're still alive.
Let's see. Hi, Paul. No.
You're at the
Oh, no,
ceiling,
there he is.
I know. It's a trained photographer. He's at the ceiling. As everybody's a photographer these days with an iPhone. But Sarah and I wear many hats. If Sarah were here today, she would tell you one of her 2 specialties. Or actually, I'll go for Sarah first to give you a little nugget if you didn't know. We started a group and called it SPI because people, what is the name of your group? So we said SPI, Sarah and Paul International, because one of us was born overseas. Between Wednesday to Wednesday, do a one-on-one with somebody in the group, and if you do one with Sarah, you'll find out that she was born in Israel, in Tel Aviv. And after 8 years old, she moved from Israel with her family. They were Romanian, so they actually migrated from Romania to Israel when it started. And then they moved, when she was 8, to Philadelphia, and then New York, and then Florida, Hollywood, Florida, and then Boca Raton. And then now we live in Delray Beach. So I was born in Brooklyn, New York, and then my family raised me in Rockland County, where Sherry lived. And I did my internship for college at a New York State Assemblyman's office, working. She was my boss, and probably we didn't know it then. Maybe Alexander Gromack was my boss, but I think you were the office manager. I survived that. That's not my phone because I'm being recorded by my phone. Okay. So I was raised in Brooklyn, New York. I was raised in Rockland County, New York. I went to school, and actually I call it upstate New York because people don't know where Rockland County is. So I just say it's upstate because they don't.
Yeah, so you're the problem.
So they don't know where it is. But I did
go to school in upstate New York, in Rochester, New York, where
Actually, Western New York.
where Western New York, upstate.
Not to
Western
be
New York.
confused with Hudson Valley.
Right, not Albany, but the other side of New York, closer to, well, it's just as close to Canada perhaps, or closer to Canada. So it's nice to be able to go to school in Rochester, New York, and be close to Canada and be able to see what it's like in the Canadian borders. And going to school and where it's a little colder. I now live, of course, in Delray Beach, where we are now. We're also sitting in the library on the 3rd floor of Inspired Living for our group that's been meeting every week for almost a whole year and a half, since October to October plus now. And this facility, they give us this coffee and danishes, even though they don't have time to come to our meetings, but occasionally they do. And you should all meet Sari Lang, who let us have this wonderful facility. So if it's a fit for you guys, you definitely all should meet, especially home care, Pam or Kim. I'm sure you've maybe met Sari, etc. If you haven't, just keep nudging at her, because she used to be a full-time realtor, successful realtor. Now she's successful selling this kind of real estate at 400 square feet instead of more there. Well, how do you condense your whole home from 2,000, 3,000 square feet into 400, 500 square feet? We did that with my grandmother as well. She's 101 years old. So that's a whole other story in itself. We also wear many hats. So Sarah's hat, as I alluded to a little bit before, is the long-term care specialty. You probably heard her say that 70% of Americans will need long-term care, whether they know it or not. And that the odds are greater to need long-term care than to need the car insurance that we have. And I think I've had 3 fender benders in the past 50 years plus years of my life. So how many people here have ever had a fender bender? At least it's a good number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At least 6 of us here have had some kind of fender bender, whether you were an unintentional cause or etc. And the odds are needing long-term care is greater. So that's her specialty. If someone needs that kind of assistance, they haven't planned for long-term care, contact my wife for that. Also, Social Security. She has some extra little certifications that more in-depth understanding when each spouse should take Social Security so that they could have the most optimized income they can to last the rest of their lives. I think her phrase is to not burden your children. I think what's her phrase is, what does she say? Don't outlive. I can't even remember how it goes already. She's my wife. Okay. All right. Don't tell her. Okay. She can hear us. Oh well. Yeah. So.
And what do you do?
We wear many hats. So the hat that I will talk about for myself, you can kind of get an idea from my shirt that says Primerica, but due to the compliant nature of the business, I talk about for our meeting, this networking meeting and networking. We started a BNI almost 30 years ago, or rather, and now actually 2001 is when we started our BNI meeting, and that was right on 9/11. That's when we started our BNI meeting. And at 6:30 in the morning, we had no idea that 9/11 was happening. And we continued doing BNI for 2 years in the Lake Worth and founded a chapter. It merged with other chapters since then. It was right in the middle of the day at lunchtime, so it was hard to go all the way to Lake Worth and back. And being in the financial business, it killed a lot of our day. So because of that, and probably not the best choice of words, but that being said, we always thought that networking and free meet and greets and business networking meetings were a really important part of our day. 20%, 25% of our marketing should be networking, but also most of small business really can't afford, they can maybe afford it, but can they afford it? Are they really getting the ROI from advertising? Advertising to me is really more towards the bigger business. But for small business, by joining, and this is what I think Ivan Meisner figured out with BNI, and LaTip is another one that's nationwide, and NPI, local, and of course SPI and Alignable as well, that by going to a weekly group that meets weekly,
you could develop referral business partners. And the best way to develop referral business partners is to come weekly, to get to know each other. You've heard over and over again, know, like, and trust. It's like, we've heard it till nauseam. But I mean, really, the bottom line is if you come weekly, you get to know each other. I learned that by going to a Toastmasters meeting. If you come every week, you get to know people at your Toastmasters club. By coming to a business group, you get to know each other. Versus coming to a meeting one time, you go to you see an advertisement on Facebook for a group, you show up at it, and you see the person that you have no idea who they are. And then they just spew their 20-minute commercial. And you have no idea. Why would you do business with them? Maybe because you're the low-hanging fruit and you're desperate, or not necessarily desperate, but you just need that service and you don't want to look around, and time is money. But for the most part, I think this kind of group is what we all need. And we forgot, like B&I, to charge for our meetings. We don't charge anybody a dime. Matter of fact, we have a layaway program. You can pay us in 10 equal installments of 00000. And we're streaming this on YouTube and LinkedIn right now. So if you guys all find Paul Finkelstein on LinkedIn, comment under the video, you listened to part of it, you thought that Marty was great, you thought that Bruce was great, or whoever, or Sherry or myself, and you want to connect further, we could utilize LinkedIn even better by this interactivity, the streaming, etc. And every week we get to know each other more, so we could pass referrals and become actual referral partners without even signing a document, without even collecting a fee. It just should work like magic. So that's the hat I'm talking about today, is the networking component. Which, how many people here think that networking is pretty important in their marketing? Everybody's hand went. Can you show everybody, the audience? Everybody's hand is up. Can everybody here thinks that networking is an important part of their marketing, not just advertising? Oh, not to knock you, Arnie. I know that if you have dollars to commit to other kinds of advertising, I went to school and I majored in marketing. And they said advertising is part of marketing. It's not advertising. Interesting. So there's like a whole major in that and a whole master's degree in that. So thank you guys all for coming. I think we're all at within 5 or 10 minutes to spare, which at the end, we usually go around the room and do a 20-second takeaway. Thank you for reading the hog to get me, because I didn't do it all. So let's start again real quick for like 20 seconds each so you can hear the hog, and tell us in about 10 seconds what your favorite part is that you learned from today, Bruce.
Well, generally the format of asking specific questions is good, particularly when you don't have a presentation. So.
Okay. And Bob, what's your 20-second takeaway?
My takeaway is that I enjoy coming here. I learn a lot. I like the people, and that's it.
I didn't even get to ring the bell for you. The hog. Okay, Sherry, good job. Sherry, go ahead. 20 seconds.
My take, first of all, I forgot to mention the name of my business. It's Business Services for You, LLC. But my takeaway is, how many people are actually from Brooklyn in this group? They were actually born in Brooklyn, I should say.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow.
It's a high percentage.
Thank you.